In a small, sunlit town lived two young men, Arman and Rayhan. Both dreamed of becoming great artists. From childhood, they'd sit together by the riverside, sketching the same sunset that poured its golden light over the water. Arman was born with incredible talent. His lines were perfect, his colors alive. Even at 15, people compared his work to that of professionals. Every teacher praised him, every contest he entered, he won easily. Rayhan, on the other hand, struggled. His drawings were awkward, his shading clumsy, his imagination uncertain. When others admired Arman's talent, Rayhan stood quietly, embarrassed by his own work. But there was one difference: Rayhan never missed a single day of practice. Every morning, before the sun rose, he sat at his small wooden desk and drew something: a tree, a bird, a pair of shoes, anything. He made mistakes every day, and every day he corrected them. Arman laughed. "You work too hard," he said one afternoon. "Art should come naturally. You can't force creativity." Rayhan smiled. "Maybe not. But I can prepare for it." As the years passed, life began to test them both. When they turned 20, a famous art academy opened an entrance competition. The winner would receive a full scholarship and a chance to study under the country's top artists. Both Arman and Rayhan applied. Arman, confident in his talent, decided to rest for a few weeks before the contest. "I don't need practice," he told himself. "Talent is enough." Rayhan, on the other hand, increased his practice hours. He worked late into the night, studied the techniques of master artists, and trained his hand until his fingers cramped. The day of the competition arrived. The challenge was to create a painting that represented hope, in just 8 hours. At first, Arman's brush moved swiftly, confidently. His strokes were smooth and elegant. But as hours passed, he began to hesitate. He couldn't decide on the final form, couldn't find the right color tone. His once natural flow faltered under pressure. Rayhan, meanwhile, began slowly, carefully building layers. His hands moved automatically, not because of talent, but because of habit. Every mistake, every adjustment, came naturally to him now. When the final bell rang, both men stepped back. Arman's painting was beautiful, but incomplete. Rayhan's was not as flashy, but it was finished, balanced, and deeply emotional. Days later, the results were announced. Rayhan had won. The town was shocked. "How could the less talented one win?" they whispered. Arman didn't speak to anyone for weeks. He couldn't believe what had happened. One evening, he walked to the same riverside where they had once drawn together. Rayhan was there, sketching quietly, as always. Arman sat beside him. "You were never more talented than me," he said. "So how did you surpass me?" Rayhan looked up, his pencil still moving. "You're right," he said softly. "You had more talent. But I had more time. I gave a part of every single day to my dream. And all those small hours built the skill you see now." Arman lowered his head. He remembered all the times he'd relied on talent instead of effort, all the days he had wasted, thinking natural ability was enough. Rayhan smiled gently. "Talent gives you a head start," he said. "Consistency wins you the race." Months later, Rayhan left for the academy, and Arman began again, this time, with a new mindset. He started waking early, sketching every morn. Months later, Rayhan left for the academy, and Arman began again, this time, with a new mindset. He started waking early, sketching every morning just like Rayhan used to. At first, it was painful. His pride resisted. His hands felt stiff. But as weeks turned into months, something changed. His lines became sharper, his colors deeper, his patience longer. Slowly, the old spark returned, but this time, it was built on discipline, not just talent. Years passed. Arman opened his own art studio, teaching young students. When they admired his skill, he always told them the same story. He'd point to a small framed painting on the wall, one of Rayhan's early works, and say, "This was made by the man who taught me that consistency beats talent." One day, a student asked, "Sir, do you think talent doesn't matter at all?" Armin smiled. "Talent is like a seed," he said. "But consistency is the water and sunlight. A seed without care dies. But even an average seed, with daily attention, can grow into a mighty tree." The class fell silent. Outside, the golden sunset reflected on the studio's glass windows, the same kind of sunset that two young dreamers once tried to paint years ago. Armin looked at it and whispered to himself, "I used to think talent was everything. But talent fades when you stop using it. Consistency, it builds you, day by day, even when no one is watching." Moral of the story. Talent may open the first door, but only consistency keeps you walking through every door that follows.